Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? The other day I went to the Southwark Playhouse, which is a fringe theatre, that means off West End, and I saw a show that I've been wanting to see for quite a while now, and it's called In the Heights. Now In the Heights first opened on Broadway back in 2008, and that's when I first heard of it as well. I believe it won Best Musical in 2009 at the Tonys and also Best Score and Best Choreography. So it did pretty well, basically, when it opened. And because of that, I was very excited to go and see this because I'd heard amazing things about the show. And this was the premiere of In the Heights in London, and like I said, it was at Fringe Theatre, not West End. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. Before I say anything, I'm just going to say that I really loved it. I mean, I was completely amazed by this show. It was just incredible in every way. So yeah, let's get to the plot. The show is set in New York City in an area called Washington Heights, which is why the show is called In the Heights. And it's a neighborhood in which most people that live there are Hispanic, like Latino and stuff. The first guy that we meet in this neighborhood is a guy called Usnavi. And Usnavi is originally from Dominican Republic, and he was brought to New York when he was a child, so he doesn't really remember much of his life before that. And his parents died when he was very young, and he was brought up by this lady called Abuela Claudio, and she was the one who kind of raised him up, and in a way she was like a mother figure to him, and he absolutely loves her. Anyway, he kind of introduces the main characters to the audience and gives us a bit of background about the whole show and what it's like to live there and stuff. One of the interesting characters that we meet early on is a girl called Nina, and she's just come back from Stanford University in California, and pretty much the whole neighborhood's excited to see her again because in her family, the Rosario family or something, apparently she was the first ever person to actually go to university, so everybody's really proud of her and so excited to see her after her first year at Stanford University. But then she has a secret, and basically she didn't actually finish her first year at university, and she kind of had to drop out for different reasons. And you kind of follow her journey and how she kind of breaks that news to her parents and everybody else in the neighborhood. And of course she also has a love interest, and that love interest is a guy called Benny. Benny works for Nina's father, and Benny isn't Latino, he doesn't know any Spanish at all. And because of that, Nina's father and parents in general are against him entering the Rosario family. So there's kind of that issue. Then you also have Usnavi, who, like I said, was the main character, the first person that you meet, and he also takes interest in a girl called Vanessa, and you kind of follow that journey as well. And at some point things happen, sad things happen, crazy things happen, and basically all of these characters in a way are connected to each other because they all know each other, they all live in the same place. But it's really weird because the way the story is told is that you really care about each character, but at the same time there's no one storyline that you follow. That's why I'm finding it quite difficult to explain the plot to you. Like, it wasn't a complicated story by any means, it's just difficult to explain it. But it was very easy to understand everything, like it definitely wasn't hard. It was actually very interesting, it felt very real because of that, because you actually get to care about all these different characters in the show and really get to know some of them, most of them in fact, and follow little storylines about each of them. And yeah, that's one thing I really loved about this show. Right, so the cast in this show was absolutely incredible. Every single one of them, honestly, were great. Usnavi was played by a guy called Sam McKay. He was amazing, probably one of the best actors I've ever seen on stage, to be honest. There were some scenes where he was like grieving and being really sad and stuff, and he acted those really well. Like, he was so believable in the character. I genuinely felt for him. And he also had an incredible voice, a great voice. I mean, some of the songs that he had to sing were quite difficult ones, but he sang them so well. I thought it had a great chemistry with everybody else on stage. I mean, he was just a really good actor. I loved him. Then his kind of mum that raised him up was played by Eve Polycarpou. Again, she was really good, fantastic acting, everything was great about her. Then we get to the Rosario family. Nina was played by Christina Modestu. Very believable in the role. She had an incredible voice, her acting was great, very genuine and heartfelt, and I just loved her throughout the show. Her performance was excellent. Nina's dad is called Kevin in the show, and he was played by David Badella. Now, David Badella is a very well-established actor. He's been in quite a lot of shows, and it was an honour to see him in this, and he was great. He really gave off this kind of authority figure type thing. Like, I could genuinely believe that he was Nina's dad, and when Nina tells him that she didn't actually go to Stanford and she had to drop out and stuff, I felt that you could really see the disappointment in the way David acted it, and you kind of felt sorry for him at the same time, even though he's meant to be quiet. I mean, I don't want to say he's a bad guy at all, because he's not, but the fact that he kind of doesn't want Benny, Nina's boyfriend, to enter the family and all that, you kind of don't like him because of that, but at the same time you can understand his feelings and stuff, and I don't know, I just thought that he gave a very well balanced and great performance. Nina's mum was played by Josie Benson. Again, she was great. It took me a while actually to warm her, to be honest. I don't know why, but as the show went on, I loved her more and more. And especially in Act 2, she has a song which is incredible, and she really gets to show off her vocal range, which was incredible. I mean, really, really good. And I really believe that she was Nina's mom. So again, fantastic acting. Our main guy, Usnavi, has a cousin called Sonny, I think. He was played by a guy called Damien Buhagiar. I hope I pronounced that right. I thought it was great. He had a great stage presence. I mean, I don't know, whenever he was on stage, which was for quite a lot of the scenes, I couldn't help but watch him. He was just great, always in character. I loved him. There's also a character called Graffiti Pete, and he was played by Johnny Labey. Again, he was fantastic. Vanessa, who is Usnavi's love interest, was played by a girl called Emma Kingston. Again, absolutely brilliant. Her voice was insanely amazing. Then we've got Daniela, who is a friend of Vanessa, and she has this kind of hair salon thing, beauty salon. She was played by Victoria Hamilton Barrett. She was excellent. She was so funny. Every time she was on stage, I mean, her accent and just her facial expressions were absolutely spot on and so funny to watch. She's meant to be kind of a comic character, but at the same time, in some scenes she's meant to be kind of nice and emotional, and I don't know, I just thought she was fantastic in this show. Every single person in this show was great. So, the music. The music and lyrics are done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I thought they were brilliant. I mean, I love the music. I honestly didn't expect to love it, but I did. Like, I would go and get the cast recording from the original Broadway production and listen to it now if I could, and I probably will. It's just like, it's not my typical style of music that I listen to, but in the show it worked so well, and it was great. It was amazing. Every song had a purpose, and I don't know, it was just really, really good. I loved it. It's definitely not like a typical musical theatre score by any means. It's just, I don't know, more of a like kind of hip-hop street kind of music. More, it's very difficult to explain, but it's good. It's good music. And one of the reasons I love the music so much is the dancing, which is what I'm going to talk about next. The choreography is done by Drew McWaney, and I thought it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. Every single person in the show can dance incredibly well, and it was just a joy to watch them all dance. And there's so much dancing in the show. It's such an energetic show, and all the cast members, you can just see that they're so into it and just up for it, and they work so hard because, like I said, it's difficult. They have to be dancing pretty much for the whole show, and they did it so well. It was just beautiful to watch, and I loved it. Like, I want to go back and see the show. And unfortunately, because it's in a fringe theatre and it's a fringe show, it's only on for like a month or so, and as far as I know it's closing next month because it's a limited run. Not because it's not doing well or anything, just because it's meant to be just only for a month. So I just really hope it transfers, because I want to see it again. I want this show in the West End. It deserves to be in the West End. Like, of all the shows, of all the like off West End shows I've seen recently, this is the one that I want in the West End. Forget about Urinetown or even Water Babies, sorry. This is the show that needs to be in the West End. I think the West End needs a show like this. It kind of had a Fame vibe to it, you know, Fame the musical. I'm not saying it was exactly like that. It was better than Fame in my opinion, but it's just like a musical for young people, a musical that young people can relate to, and everybody can relate to, but especially young people. There's not very many musicals, I think, in the West End at the moment that young people are going to be like, yes, I love it, because it's In the Heights is very different. It's like the music, the choreography, just the characters in it are very relatable to a younger audience, and that's what I loved about it. Oh my god, it was just so heartfelt, the whole thing, so real and beautiful, funny, energetic. I loved it. So yeah, if you do get a chance, go and see it at the Southwark Playhouse before it finishes, because wow, I mean, I'm going to try and go and see it again before it finishes, but who knows if I will get a chance, but I will try my best. And yeah, I'm just so glad that I got to see this show. In the Heights is a fantastic show. I really, really loved it. And yeah guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!